everybody, welcome to the Digestion Diaries again. I'm Dr. Piken, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more about SIBO. SIBO stands for Small Intestine Bacterial Overgrowth. And what I really wanted to talk about today is simply my test. I've actually looked at other tests from other patients for years about SIBO, and I've helped people with SIBO, and I really like to phrase that properly. What I work on doing is helping people with conditions, not fixing SIBO. You can do that, you can help SIBO, but it's even better to help the person with SIBO. You see, 1/3 of the time, SIBO can be fixed pretty easily. Whether you're going to a GI doctor and getting antibiotics like rifaximin or Xifaxan, there's sometimes an easy, simple resolution. But 2/3 of SIBO cases tend to be chronic manageable cases, and that could be very well managed, meaning that you could barely know it's there, or very poorly managed. And what I help to do is get people to understand that sometimes we have conditions, whether it's psoriasis or other autoimmune issues like hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, or SIBO, that can be chronic conditions. Yet they can be manageable and livable, and they don't really have to be a big part of your life. They can be easily manageable if you have the right tools. And that's really what I want to work on doing. So one of the tools that you need to determine how to take an approach and help somebody with SIBO is to determine if they have it in the first place. Now, you can kind of guess if somebody has bloating, especially when they have high fiber or high carbohydrate foods, that they can maybe have SIBO. And I use applied kinesiology, which is a form of muscle testing that we get biofeedback from the body that tells me a lot of things about the body, but it's an imperfect science. Symptoms on their own are very imperfect, so you can't solely rely on it. And even though I do use those approaches at first, just the symptoms and how people are muscle testing and their just general daily habits, and do some food experiments and tell them to take certain supplements, and that usually gets them better. There are some cases where we require testing. Testing gives us a not black and white always, it's sometimes a little gray, but it gives us a lot more information to go by. So what a SIBO test is this. You have a prep day. For 24 hours, all I ate was some plain steamed or a lightly roasted chicken with a little bit of salt and pepper on it, or white rice. That's all I ate for 24 hours. Basically, I started in the morning and I went through till about 6 p.m. The next morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. and you need an hour after you wake up to give your body some time to just kind of wake up. And then there's a SIBO breath test. The best video I've seen on how to perform this SIBO breath test is from the lab I use. I use Genova Diagnostics Lab and their SIBO test. And if you just Google Genova Diagnostics SIBO, S-I-B-O, you'll see a web page come up that gives you a few videos. One's a tutorial about what SIBO is, and the other one is a tutorial about how do you take the test and how do you prep for it. And it's really important that you prep properly so we get the best information. But what I did this morning after an hour of waking up is basically this. I take this little tube, and I'm sorry I didn't keep it out, I already mailed out the rest of the kit. Keep this little tube and you blow into a bag, and you're getting samples of air for 3 hours. It's about every 20 minutes you get a breath sample, and the last hour you're doing it every 30 minutes. But basically you send these breath samples in after taking a base sample of nothing in your mouth and nothing in your body because you've fasted, and then taking a lactulose solution. When you drink this lactulose solution, it can create some gases that can be measured by the test. Two of the most important gases are hydrogen and methane. And once you get the test results back, we can see at what point did you have a rise in one or more of these gases, either hydrogen, methane, or both. And by looking at the baseline compared to what happened over time, we can see how far down approximately this bacterial overgrowth is and whether you even have it or not. So if you do have something like bloating or belching or those carbohydrates bother you, but you don't have a positive SIBO test, well, then we know we may need digestive enzymes, or we might have to fix you up here. You might have H. pylori, or you might have a dysbiosis down in the large intestine, or you just may be dealing with stress, and that throws off your digestion. But nailing down one thing it's not is just as good as knowing what it is. So testing gives us information. I recommend if you have bloating and it's unresolved and you've tried different things, make sure you get a SIBO test and work with a practitioner that knows exactly how to interpret it. I hope that information helped you again today. I'll have another episode explaining my results in a couple weeks. Have a great day.